During an event hosted by the Texas Liberty Alliance PAC, Representative Dan Crenshaw took aim at some of his GOP colleagues, labeling members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus performance artists and grifters. Watch.
Because I've been in Congress for almost 3 years now. There's two types of members of Congress. There's performance artists, and there's legislators. Now, the performance artists are the ones that get all the attention. They're the ones you think are more conservative because they know how to say slogans real well. They know how to recite the lines that they know that our voters want to hear. What you hear so often is not true. It's not true. We have grifters in our midst in the conservative movement. Lie after lie after lie because they know something psychologically about the conservative heart. We're worried about what people are going to do to us, what they're going to infringe upon us.
Trouble in paradise in the GOP? Well, let's bring in Rob Smith, host of Rob Smith is Problematic, to talk to us about this. Rob, what's going on, man?
Hey man, look. So I saw this clip, and with Dan Crenshaw, the thing is that look, he sometimes tries to have it both ways. He is definitely Republican. He's definitely conservative. He votes with Trump a lot of the time. I remember there was this CNN analysis that says that he does vote with Trump he did vote with Trump about 90% of the time. But there's sometimes that need to be liked and accepted by the mainstream media outlets that he has access to that some of these people in Congress don't have access to. So Dan Crenshaw has been on MSNBC. He's been on SNL. I think that he was just on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. And so I understand his frustration with some of the more radical elements of the party getting a lot of attention and all of that stuff. But what I think he's missing is that we need those flamethrowers in Congress that are going to say something that everybody else is thinking, but that also do not care what MSNBC or SNL or The Daily Show think about them.
So what do you think should happen here? I mean, there are some people who are particularly upset at Congressman Crenshaw. I think I've interviewed him once. I've had very little contact with Congressman. Among all politicians that I interview and talk to, I don't really know Dan, so I don't really have a dog in the fight here one way or the other, but when calling members of the House Freedom Caucus performance artists, what do you think that's all about? What's the game plan here?
I think that it's a little frustrating. I think, and I can understand, like, you have to get in the mind of somebody like Dan Crenshaw. I've spoken to the congressman a couple of times. He's a really good dude. I do believe that his heart is in the right place in terms of legislating and in terms of wanting to protect the values that we hold dear. But there's also an element of what he does and who he is that doesn't necessarily attract the same amount of attention as a lot of these people on the right. And look, I'll just say it. He said that, he wasn't really talking about anybody in particular. He's talking about the Lauren Borberts, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Matt Gaetzes of the world. This is who he's speaking about. And he made a comment after this all blew up, because I don't think the intention was for this to go viral in the way that it did. I think that he made a comment. He kind of like blamed the media and kind of like blamed the coverage of these comments. But no, he meant exactly what he was saying. And like I said, I think that he misses sometimes that we need that element of bomb throwing and of flame throwing. But to his point, and in defense of Dan Crenshaw, we really do have to look beyond the rhetoric, beyond the social media videos, beyond the tweets, beyond all of that stuff, and look at what a lot of these people in Congress are actually doing. And he does have a point that a lot of these people that get the most amount of attention on social media, on Facebook, on Fox News, etc., are not necessarily doing a whole hell of a lot in Congress. So that's something that we all need to kind of hold their feet to the fire about.